As you know, I'm Bob Newcomb, and today's program has two parts to it. One is iOS 13, and the gentleman who requested we go over iOS 13 is not here, so I assume he's across the way being trumped. That's, I think, what's happened to our attendance today is things have been a little exciting over the last 2 weeks since he did his last trump. So Stover, I'm sure, has a good-sized crowd over there. Having said that, I hope you don't all disappear and go over there. Okay, so we're going to go over what iOS 13 is, what the new features are. You probably have had the request from your devices. Do you want to update?
Oh, yeah.
Some of you have, some of you haven't. The latest fix apparently didn't fix everything, so it's still not as stable as one would want, but I'm okay with it. And so it's working for me, so take your choice. Do you want to go for it or not?
This is 13.1.2?
Right now it's at 13.1.2, yes. Okay, we're going to go feature by feature. I'll describe it here. Some of them I'll demonstrate, some of them I won't. So the first one is dark mode. Dark mode turns the background from white to black, and the colors are changed somewhat so that in low light situations you don't have a bright white screen to make you stagger back, and because sometimes they're really quite bright. So you go into settings, displays and brightness, and you have a choice of light, dark, and automatic, and some other options. I'm in dark mode right now. You can't tell, but when you go into an app, that's dark mode.
Oh, that's what happened to my husband.
Okay. You can go to Control Center and set it up and press it, and it'll go back to light mode. So I'm going into settings, display and brightness, and there are your choices of light, dark, automatic, which means during daytime it's light, at nighttime it's not, and then the options gives you how you can set your schedule for it, or you can let the sun decide when it goes to light and dark. So I have mine set so that it automatically goes to dark mode at sunset. Although I can change it at any time, either in here or on the Control Center. Now let's go to Settings, Control Center, Custom Controls, and here's where you can have certain apps or features show up in Control Center, and I have added the dark mode. So that is added. I can take it away, and now Control Center does not have the dark mode show up. I can add dark mode to Control Center, and there it is. So I can turn it on and off quickly from Control Center. So dark mode was probably the most asked for feature for iOS change, and they put it in 13. Okay, so this is the settings, Control Center, and customize the controls and go to dark mode. Now the second feature is called Quick Path. Quick Path is the ability to swipe between letters on your keyboard. Android fans, Android people love that. So when it became available, I tried it on here. I hate it. But You go to Settings, General Keyboard. You have to have predictive typing on, and then on your keyboard you can swipe from letter to letter. Predictive typing is when you start to type something and you're either misspelling it or you do part of it, your phone or iPad will suggest, did you mean, and you can do it. Without predictive typing, the swiping doesn't work well at all. Yes. So let's go into Notes. I'll add a new note. On an iPad, predictive, the quick path when you have a full keyboard does not work. When you go to a small keyboard, you can see it is now allowing me to do it. So G-I-V-E and let go is give. So if you like that, then it's available. All you have to have is predictive typing, and you hold your finger on a key, and then it'll suggest that one. Then you go to the next one, you go to the next one, you go to the next one. When you lift your finger, it's done with the word. So
Different than the texting one.
Texting doesn't.
Same thing like texting.
this works on everything. That maybe not some third-party apps, but it works on everything with Apple stuff. This is a new, Quick Path is a new feature for iOS 13. Pinch it. Pinch it out and pinch it in. Today, I will not be going over all the changes for the iPad. That's a whole nother story. We'll do that maybe next week. But there's enough on iOS 13 for the iPhone, and for most phone things also works on the iPad. But there's some new features for iPad. I'll go over those another day. Okay.
Why don't you like it?
I just don't.
Oh, it's just a personal.
It doesn't work for me very well. I don't like it. I type better than
That thing.
it's a personal issue.
And you know what? Maybe some people don't like it because you don't.
Well, on that iPad, you could do that with your thumb just as fast. By the way, they did a study and they found out that kids can type faster
Yes.
with their thumbs than they can type.
Yep.
Now, there are very few people that can thumb 100 words a minute, but then keyboarding skills have dropped off. There's hardly anybody that can type 100 words a minute anymore either. Okay, now Find My iPhone and Find My Friends is now one app called Find My. And it works essentially the same way the individual ones did, only you have the ability to go in and say, I want to work with people, or I want to work with devices. So if you're in Disneyland and you want to follow your family as they traipse around Disneyland, although if they're inside Space Mountain, it probably won't work, but who knows. So you can turn on Find My Friends and share your location, and they can share with you, and you can follow each other around. Same thing with your devices, and we haven't done Find My Devices yet when you lose a device and whatever, but it's all the features are there. It's just inside one app now, no longer two apps.
So, if you don't know where your iPhone is, how do you can't use it to say find my iPhone? But that's-
You can go to anybody's iPhone
so you have-
or computer and go into Find My and put in your Apple ID and your password, and you can find your devices. We had I had an assistant here a couple years ago, and she was in a panic. She could not find her phone. She knew it was here at OLLI. It wasn't anywhere. And I said, don't worry. We went in to Find My Phone on my phone, and I played a sound, and from the depths of her gigantic purse came the tones for the from the phone. So I'll leave her name anonymous. But when you carry a satchel around instead of a purse, it's what happens. Okay, now, one of the things I like a lot about iOS 13 is now you can use a flash drive with your phone or iPad. And it may require a power adapter because the high capacity ones especially draw more power than your phone is willing to give it. But if you have an adapter like I do that has a little switch, a little slot here for power, so there's my power, and I will plug it in and we'll see something on this. So, wake up this phone. And I'll plug this in now. And we will go to Files, which is the app where you can find things. And you do not see my flash drive yet. I will plug it in. And there it is, Newcomb 32. And so I'll tap on that. And now here are all the files. I can transfer them anywhere. I can add to this. So it now is more like a regular computer where you can use flash drives. On your iPad, you can put in a full hard drive, external hard drive, or solid state. So if you've got a 6 terabyte external hard drive going to your computer, you unplug it from your computer, put it in here, and you have full access. Yes?
Your files are photos or
You have full access. So let's take something, we'll go to distance learning, and here is what is Islam. That's one of the videos that we played. And I don't hear it.
Our speaker today is Jamal Zaheen. He graduated from Cal State Long Beach.
I can hear it. Okay, so now this is a full video that we use here at OLLI on the website. So this was a lecture from a couple years ago. So that is a super new feature, and it's much more like a regular computer now. You can transfer files in and out. And I'm getting ahead of myself, but you can download files from the internet into your download folder, which they've now created on your iPad. So you have this gigantic zip file that you need to bring down. You can bring it to here, then when you get near your computer, you can airdrop it or transfer it over. Okay, so.
But then you've got to have the memory capacity in your iPhone or iPad.
No, because the drive has the capacity. If you want to transfer the file, yes, yes. But you don't have to transfer the file. I'm playing that video directly from here. It's not on my phone. Screenshots. Does everybody know how to take a screenshot on your phone or iPad? All right, let me ask it a different way. Who does not know how to take a screenshot? Okay. It depends on where, if you have a device with a home button or the newer ones that don't. There's different buttons to push. If you have a device that has a home button, if you press the sleep awake button and the home button at the same time, and I'm going to get out of this, we'll do it this way, so. Okay, you see it turned white? And there's the screenshot. Okay, so home button, sleep awake, it flashes, and then it drops it down here. You can now edit it, you can mark it up, you can change the cropping, a lot of things you can do with it and save. If you have an error message that you don't know what it means, and you want to go to the Ask Bob on Friday afternoons, screenshot that error, because I have a better chance of figuring out what's going on instead of hearing from you, oh, I got an error message. What was it? Well, it was something about, and that's very hard to diagnose. But the screenshot, I can. So the screenshot is your friend, and I'm done, and I'm not going to save this one. I'm just going to delete it. On your phone, your new phones don't have a home button. So the screenshot, I won't put it up on the screen, but you hold the sleep awake and volume up, and you get the same thing. Sleep awake, volume up.
Should have done that in the first place. It's hard to hold those two.
Okay, now, there is a change in Safari. When you take a screenshot in Safari, you have an option of screenshotting the entire page instead of what you can see on your screen. All right, so when we're in Safari, you want a Trump lesson? We can go into Trump here. Ooh, Giuliani associates are arrested. Okay, you can see it's a long, long page. Okay, I'm going to do a screenshot.
I just did it for the Ollie Blue Book, and it has all the pages.
Tell it full page. There we go. You can see it's all there. I just don't see. All right. Have a glitch. Don't know why it's doing this. It could be because it's projecting. I don't know. But there are your options, and I'm going to delete this. But if I was not on showing up here, it probably would work. YouTube, I don't want. Full page.
Would it just do the front page, the full front page of the LA
The-
Times, or the whole LA?
The page. Definition of on the internet is there's a website, and that's everything that particular provider has put out there. Then there's the page. The page can scroll way down, but it's only the one page. So it's the full page, not the full website.
But I just did, I happen to have this
Yes,
on my Safaris,
yes,
and I did a screenshot, and it has the whole Blue Book.
yes, probably,
It did the whole Blue Book when I.
probably. Okay.
That's great.
Oh, it wants the password. Touch ID. Okay, when you do the full page and then there's a save button, you press save and it'll ask you where you want to save the PDF file. If it is just a screen, you can save it to photos. If it's the full page, then it's going to want to know where, and it goes into the File app and you choose where you want to save it. Okay.
Excuse me, Bob.
Yeah.
You said full page goes to,
Wherever you can choose which files to put it.
but if you don't choose, it goes to file? Or
No,
choose-
when you choose files, it's going to ask you where
Okay,
and follow you down the path because it's not going to guess.
right. Thank you.
Okay. The share sheet, and you probably not heard that description, has changed. When you hit the little icon for share, which is on many different apps, it comes down and asks what you want to do, where you want to share this with, and that has changed. It now has one row of people, so when you select a person, it's going to then text it or email it or airdrop it. The next one is what apps you want to share it with, and there's a whole list out here, and it differs depending on what it is you're trying to share. And now the new part is down below. So now you can copy, add people, pin the note, find it in notes, move to a folder, all kinds, and those change depending on what app and what type of thing it is you're trying to work with, trying to share. And you can scroll down a big list. So that is it's confusing to some people because they knew there was an icon here that said print. It's gone. Now printing is down in this bottom section. So that will confuse you to start with. You've got to look in different places. Just because it was doing it until yesterday doesn't mean it's doing it today. So you adapt to change. Okay, photos. When you share a photo, okay, if you're going to share a photo now, there's a scary thing about photos, and that is it has the GPS location of the photo.
Why is it scary?
Because if it's a picture of your granddaughter in her bedroom, and you put it on Facebook, anybody who can see that photograph knows where your granddaughter was at the time that picture was taken. So if you don't want to share the location for a photograph, iOS 13 allows you to remove it. All right, so here's a photograph of a mountain on Moorea, and up here, and I said share it, and up here it says French Polynesia. And actually it's much more accurate than that, that's just the description. And if I press the options, you can take away the location. As a matter of fact, you can take away all photo data. When you take a photograph, there's a little file called an EXIF, E-X-I-F, file that's either embedded in the photo or attached to the photo. And that has everything from what camera you used, what lens it had on it, what the f-stop was, what the location is, the shutter speed, all kinds of information about that photograph are in this little file. If you say all photo data and take it off, it will not share any of that. So if I took off location, nothing will go with that photo. It's the raw photo by itself. So for things that you're sharing to the outside world, think about removing the location before you send it. In many cases, you don't care. This is a picture of French Polynesia. I want people to see that it's from French Polynesia. But if it's something you don't, you can remove it. So that is how to remove location from a photo. All right, now is a good time to look at an EXIF. Okay, I'm going to go to Photos, and we'll pick that one. That's on the island of Huahine in French Polynesia. And it was a great place to sit in the shade and look at things. All right, now, you cannot see that EXIF data very easily from inside the Photos app. But I have another app. I am pressing the Share button. I have the Share sheet, and I'm scrolling down, and there's a View EXIF. That is an app I purchased for 99 cents. And when I press that, it is giving me all the information about that photograph. It was taken on September 7th at 2:42 and 2 seconds. The f-stop was 2.4. The speed, shutter speed was 1/1656th of a second. It was taken on iPhone 10. And so that's all kinds of information, and it also has its location. So for 99 cents, you can go in and find everything you want. There are many apps that will show that as well. If you edit this in Pixelmator, it will tell you that information. But Pixelmator is more than 99 cents. So that's the option I took. And if you care about that kind of stuff, 99 cents is a drop in the bucket.
Is 99 cents once for all or every time you use it?
It's 99 cents, period. It's not a subscription. Okay.
That'll work regardless of what camera the photo was taken.
If I took it on my Nikon D7100 and transferred it to here, that file tells me everything about my Nikon camera and how I took that picture. It's the EXIF information is attached to just about all JPEGs or all RAW pictures by almost every device. It's kind of universal. Okay, the App Store has made some changes. And what used to be visible from the bottom were all your purchases and updates. They added the arcade store instead of that, and they moved updates and purchases underneath your icon. So let's go to, when you tap the icon, it then tells you, this is me, here's the purchases, and if I scroll down, it shows me all the apps that need updating. So if you manually update things, they've moved. It's all underneath that icon up in the top right corner. It works the same way, it's just moved. Now, they did add one change to it. Right, the video is not running. If you grab any of these items and flick them to the left, you can delete them from the update area. Now, before that, to delete an app is what?
Drag it off the screen.
You have to find it on one of your home pages, hold your finger down on it, and when it jiggles, you hit the X and that will delete it. Now you can do it from here. Why this is better? Sometimes you can't find where that dumb app is. You've looked everywhere. It's in a folder on screen number 6. All right, home page number 6. But you keep looking and you can't find it. But in here, if you go to the purchases, if you go into the purchased, you'll find everything you bought and you'll find it in there. So that's another way to find and then delete it. Okay, so now the photos has changed quite a bit as far as where things look when you first go into them. It used to be the year and then the month and then sections of the month and then days. And now it's gone to years, months, and day views by themselves. And it also shows some pictures smaller, some larger, and you can roam around, and it will hide what it thinks are ugly pictures. But you press all, and then it shows you all your sins, all the times you press the button when the camera is pointed at your feet.
Yeah, or the ground.
Yeah, yeah. So you'll have to play with photos to get a good view of how it works. All right, now Safari. Safari has changed quite a bit. On the iPad tells the web developer that you're running a Mac and it's Mac OS. The reason for that is a lot of web developers assume that if it's an iPad, it is a tablet and it gives you a mobile device view, which is significantly changed. And if you have a 12.9-inch iPad, a mobile view of it is awful. The worst sinner in that is Google. Google always gives you a mobile view when you come in. Now they give you the full web view, full desktop view, because they're told that this is a Mac, not an iPad. So that's a big change. You can still ask for the mobile view, but its default is a desktop view. Your phone is a mobile view by default. Okay, there is now a new button on the left-hand side of your address bar that is a capital and a lowercase a. When you press that button, you get additional options. You can hide the toolbar. You can go to website settings. Okay, this means you can tell Safari that when I go to this website, I want it to be in dark mode, larger fonts, whatever settings you want for that website, and it keeps it by website. Before, you could have those options, but it was for everything. Now you can do it by website. It also will allow you to allow or deny the access while in Safari on that website to the camera, the microphone, and location information. Certain developers want more than they need to have, and this is a way to say no to all of that. They also added a downloads folder. So if you are on your iPhone and you're on a website because you're looking for a driver for your PC to fix a certain problem you've got, before there was nothing you could do while on your phone, you had to do it from your PC. Now you can download that file onto your iPhone or iPad in the downloads folder or elsewhere if you want, and then you can transfer it to your PC. So if you come in here to the Open Lab and say my PC will not recognize or work my scanner. And we look up the information on that, and there's a new driver to put on your PC to let it work with that scanner. We could download it to your phone here, and then you could take that home and transfer it to your PC. So that is a nice new feature. And by default, it goes to the download folder on your device. So if we go into the Files app, now you know what I do in that. And there is a Downloads folder. So if I tap on that, these are the things I've downloaded in Safari on my iPad through iOS 13. Okay, messages. They've added the ability to share your name and your photo with anybody that you're messaging. In the past, if I was on a text message or a message with you, and I was in your contact list, and in the contact list you've said, this is Bob, and here's his photograph, then it would show, when you went into messages, it would show a little picture of me and my name. Now, when I message you, I can share with you my photo or my icon or whatever. In my case, it's a memoji, and so that will show up. If I go name and photo sharing is turned on, if I message you, this will be available to you. If you've got me in your contact list, it uses the contact list. But if you don't have me in the contact list, it uses what I'm sharing. So that's only on messaging. If you message someone with an Android, it will not work. Only if you're sending it to an Apple person. Okay, Health app. The Health app has been reorganized, and now it's under Favorites and Browse, and you can go to they've moved things in a different place. It's essentially the same information, but it looks different. So just be aware of that. And iPad OS 13 has additional features for iPads, but we do not have the time today to do that. So that's for another day. So any questions about iOS 13? It's probably okay to go for it. There are some issues. For example, iOS 13 plus the Pages update, when I use my keyboard on that, the right arrow key doesn't work. It moves it left. Yeah, oh. That is a mistake they've made with the new update. The update came yesterday for Pages, so they have to fix that. So things happen. All the things I brought up are features of iOS 13. If you don't have iOS 13, you don't have any of the things that I've talked about today. They will come when you go. An iPhone 6S is required. Or higher. And it's more complex in the world of iPads because there's iPad minis and different versions of iPads, and you have to find out. But if it's been bugging you about updating, then of course you can get it. If you go into Settings, General Software Update, if it says you can have 13, then you can. Okay, that is all I have to say about iOS 13 at this point. If you're really conservative, wait a little bit longer. And If you're willing to put up with an occasional glitch like that right arrow key on pages, then you can update now.